And I thought I'd best give it a little bit of structure, because otherwise I'll just be going over and over. So, first of all, welcome. So I understand you've been about already, and you've been staffed, so I thought at lunch we've had a little bit of a chat, but briefly I think for our benefit as well as yours, if we just sort of very briefly say who we are, where we're coming from, what kind of areas you're in. Yeah, because it'll benefit. I know that you've probably done this already at other institutions and at Kiel, but for our benefit as well, really. So, I'm Joanna De Silva. Everyone calls me Jo, possibly because my name is actually pronounced Joanna, and hardly anyone pronounces it properly. So, and I am currently the interim student services manager at Harper. I am usually the assistant manager, but my colleague has been on maternity leave for the last few months. And so I've been filling in for a second time. I've done this 2 years ago. That's how I met Ian, actually, and you as well, isn't it? 2 years. So, we'll go through later on just a little bit in terms of what falls under student services here, because it's a bit different to some of the other institutions, not as complete perhaps, and how it's fragmented into actually other towers. So I'll just briefly, I'll be talking to you a little bit about just the challenges and the differences of doing student services and student support in general in a smaller institution. And then afterwards Val will talk to you a little bit, I think this is the order that we could read, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, Val will talk to you a little bit about, she'll tell you a little bit more, but in terms of support for vocational students, students from vocational backgrounds, and Maria will talk to you a little bit about support for international students. So if I could start, let's make Ian the example here. Yeah. So Ian, who are you?
Who am I and where do I come from? So yeah, I'm Ian Munson. I'm head of Student Support and Development Services at Kiel University, and that's fairly similar, but we've got a range of services from counselling and mental health through to careers and lots of different things in between, including chaplaincy and student support, etc., etc.
So my name is Yihui. I'm from China, and I study in the States, born in Green State University. I'm a doctoral student in higher education administration program focusing on educational assessment. And I'm currently doing an internship in student services in Kiel University.
And I'm Maria Simpson. I head up the career service here at Harper Adams. There's only myself that works full-time, and I have a lady that works with me part-time. We have a huge remit from students really making inquiries of the institution and wanting to know the outcomes of what happens to students once they actually complete their degrees. We get involved with first years, looking at the careers programme and the personal development of students through the careers programme. We support students when they go out on placement, if they're needing additional support that supplements the work of the academics and also the placement officers. And then when students come back from their place in industry, we then pick them up in the final year. We support them during their final year here at Harper Adams. We also are involved in something called the Destination of Leavers Higher Education Survey, which goes across all universities here in the UK. So we survey all our ex-students 6 months after they graduate. And we do offer them support for 3 years after they've graduated from Harper Adams as well. So I've been here a long time. I've been here 24 years. And I still have associations with students when I first came here 24 years ago, because very often those students will bring back employment opportunities for our current students.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm also a student at Bowling Green State University studying student services in their master's program. And this summer I am completing an internship at Kiel. So.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Karin. I'm from Belgium, University of Antwerp, and I'm in charge of incoming and outgoing students' faculty of arts. Oh, that's philosophy, history, language and literature, linguistics.
Hi, I'm Nadine, and I'm from Wiesbaden in Germany, which is close to Frankfurt in the middle of Germany. And I'm having about 250% jobs. One of them is also I'm taking care of incoming and outgoing students from the architecture and civil engineering department, and the other one is setting up a peer mentoring program in the computer sciences and the business administration faculty.
Hi, I'm Claire. I'm Head of Student Support at Keele, so my remit involves money and welfare, international student support and resident support. Very diverse, very broad. What am I interested in? Anything really that helps students get involved in all sorts of things.
Anything. Hi, I'm Alison. I'm the coordinator for the money and welfare team at Keele, working under Claire. So, I mean, my interests are just anything, obviously money and welfare orientated, but we also run the mentoring scheme, which is across the whole university, and we also are heavily involved in Keele Welcome, so introducing all new students to Keele pre-arrival and that kind of transitioning into Keele.
Well, I'm Alana and graduated from Keele in 2014, and since then I've been working as a graduate assistant in residence support, namely looking after welfare, discipline matters for all the students that live in our halls of residence.
Well, I'm going to come to you.
Okay, my name's Val Scarlett, and I'm the academic guidance and development tutor with one hat on, and my other hat, which I don't like wearing, is the principal academic misconduct investigator. So we won't say too much about that. And obviously I'll tell you when I talk to you. I'm in a team of 3, and we provide study skills support for all the students, irrespective of which course they're on, although we do concentrate a lot on students from vocational backgrounds, and we refer on when they come to us into other areas. And I say the academic misconduct, I have to speak to them when Turnitin shows that their work resembles too much the sources they got it from, and I have to speak to them about that, but I don't like doing that. And I'm retiring in the summer.
So I managed to sort of convince her to come and do this before she can we go that way?
Yeah, I'm Vladimir. I'm from St. Petersburg, Russia, and I'm working at St. Petersburg State University. I'm a bit odd among these event participants, for I'm a university teacher and researcher.
Oh, that's still cool.
Yeah.
We promise we won't say anything bad about teachers. Hi.
Yeah, hi, I'm Birgit. I'm from Germany. I work at the Study Service Center in Erlangen-Nürnberg. That's about 2 hours from Munich. Munich. Yeah, I do not retire in summer. A little bit longer.
Hi.
Hello, my name is Tina. I come from University of Helsinki, Finland. I work for the Faculty of Behavioral Science and for the program of subject teacher education and education of adults.
Super. And in the back.
Hi, my name is Fernando. I'm from Spain. My job is to promote my university as social media.
Oh, okay.
Like Facebook, Twitter.
Cool. That sounds really good. Hi.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I come from Barcelona. I do the international coordination at a social work faculty. So I do incoming, outgoing, whatever is involved with international. We're a very small university as well.
My name is Almut. I'm also from the university in Erlangen-Nürnberg, like Birgit, and we work together in the Study Service Center of the Department in Chemistry and Pharmacy, and take care of all the students' needs, whatever it is.
Well, I'd say it's great to see that this is happening all over Europe, because when I was a student in Portugal, there was no such thing as student services.
In Spain, we don't have that yet.
There isn't. And I remember when I first came as an exchange student, and I was quite sort of baffled by the whole thing, that there was actually people that wanted to make sure that I was okay and I was doing okay and integrating, but that didn't exist in Portugal whatsoever. So that was my first encounter with that kind of support. And then as an exchange student and afterwards, I was part of the nightlife, which was a student program whereby we supported students overnight if they were particularly needing support, if you're not aware, but I'm sure most of the institutions haven't. And then from that, I ended up working at the University of Wolverhampton, where I was part of the undergraduate portfolio. as an assistant, support assistant, basically doing this but at a lower level, localising the actual faculty of business. And then I came over here, I did placements, which was a little bit different, but I really wanted to do student services, so to get my foot through the door I volunteered to do some hours extra a week. And then eventually an opportunity came up and I've been in student services now for nearly 6 years, which is, you know, and I love doing my job. Love doing my job. So, right, thank you very much for that. So, you can't see it very well, but this is our campus. It looks tiny when you walk around, but actually, in reality, it's a big campus. It's got a full working farm. There's quite a lot of fields around that are used both for teaching and for commercial venture. But really, in reality, we were here, and that's where that swimming pool is that everyone's talking about. I will tell you now, it's a heated swimming pool, but it's only open during sort of spring till the end of the summer. And it causes us quite a few headaches because it's shared between staff and students, and during exam times it gets very noisy, etc. But it is a nice thing, and we always showcase it when we have open days. So, so yeah, basically the hub of Light the Harper is this area here, with a few accommodation on that area there, and then that is basically the farm. Later today, if the weather's still holding up and it's not raining, if we haven't got a storm coming, brewing, I'm going to have one of my student wardens come over and we'll go for a little bit of a wander, just so you have a bit of a feel about the campus, really. It looks dead at the moment, but as I was saying, a lot of students have gone home to take some stuff and they're coming back on Saturday for the summer ball, which is a big event. Otherwise, normally you'd see that this is pretty buzzing campus. But unlike other campuses, the majority of our students are in like wellies and overalls and can smell a bit if they've been working up in the farm, or they can be covered in oil if they've been in engineering, or they might have been cooking a treat up in food, for example. So it could be anything really. So roughly, someone was asking me, so we're really small. So we have 2,600 students who are basically what we consider the full-time undergraduate and postgraduate students who we mostly focus on. And then we have about 2,000 students who are FTE equivalents, which are part-time and workforce development, basically training that we do. We don't really see those 2,000 very often. Then, yes, like I was saying, we have a commercial farm of 500 hectares, arable and livestock enterprises, which is also used as a teaching resource, which you don't get in many places. So whilst we have our lecturers and teachers, we also have our technicians in the different areas, and they too collaborate and support the teaching activities. And then we have specialist teaching and development centres, such as the engineering one, and we're having a brand new one also being built to add on to the existing engineering one, food, vet nursing, entomology, which if you don't know what it is, I wasn't quite sure, is the study of bugs, and apparently is a very popular area, and is ever growing. Since I've been here at Harper, Harper's grown massively, even in numbers of students, but also just generally in facilities, which is good in my opinion. Right, so in terms of courses, we have, it's basically a motto is field to fork. So we offer things in terms of agriculture, animal health and veterinary nursing, agriculture, engineering, off-road vehicle design. We are the only institution that currently does do agricultural engineering as a degree, a full degree. That's right, isn't it, Maria? Yes. And we also then have expanded now into the food marketing and the business marketing, fresh produce, everything that's around that whole industry. And we are basically aiming to equip young adults to basically work in all of those bits of the industry, and that can be literally from the field to the fork when you eat at home. We also do some masters in MSCs. All our degrees are science-based ones, and we also have loads of research opportunities, PhD and postdoctoral level. And that's been a big drive from our Vice-Chancellor in terms of pushing our research quality, particularly our international research quality. So that's been a very big thing, because I think particularly our Vice-Chancellor thinks that in order for us to grow and to be able to promote ourselves, particularly because we are so small, he's focusing quite a lot on that. Okay? Right. So, student support at Harper Adams. We're a bit fragmented, which can make the job harder, but also at the same time, because we're not all under the same umbrella, means that we might have more visions, different opinions of how things should be done. I think that's what we were talking the other day, weren't we?
Positive,
Maria
yeah.
and Val. So, but in student services, I'm probably the equivalent of Claire, very much. So we do in student services, we do the welfare, we do disciplinary action, we do the accommodation, chaplaincy, community, so all the stuff in terms of when the students go and live off campus, their accommodation, but also community complaints and all that kind of stuff as within us. Chaplaincy, community, finance hardship, so your access to learning fund and other bits, budgeting, and we also manage the student warden team. So we don't have residential assistants, but we have student wardens, which are final year students who come back and live on campus and support those students, particularly in the first 6 weeks of the term of the year, and then we try and sort of foster a bit of more of an independence and detachment from them so that they can go on. So that's that one bit really, and then side by side stands learner support, which is disability and academic support. Is that right, Val, isn't it? Where Val fits in, Maria in terms of careers and placement, and then alongside all that, the course management team. The course management team you have always is the course manager, the senior tutors, but also the placement manager. All our students at undergraduate level do 1 year placement. All of our students. That's one of the things that sort of makes it slightly different from most institutions. Please feel free to ask questions. So I was thinking this morning, differences, do they restrict us?